Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of the Amazingly Dope podcast. I have the beautiful Miss Harris Smile with us today. I am so excited. She is the only woman I've ever had on my podcast. Yes. She's someone who I met through social media, but she is amazing. I feel like she's going to inspire and motivate so many people today. I feel so blessed to have her here. I'm going to take a back seat today because I just want to listen, honestly. So, the theme of this podcast, I don't even know where it's going to go, and I don't care. I'm going to let God do his thing, is on accountability. So, we're talking about the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Like, what everyone has their New Year's resolutions. What are you going to do? But for me, I was like, my focus is on accountability so I could be a better version of myself. But I'm going to let Miss Harris give her perception on that, and I'm just going to listen for now. So, what are your thoughts on accountability?
Well, hello everyone. Happy New Year as well. Or should I say, good morning?
Good morning.
So accountability. A lot of people, I had to sit back and be like, you know what does accountability mean to me as an individual, right? What were those things that I need to hold myself accountable? Because the only way that I can hold somebody else's accountable is to hold myself accountable to my actions towards their actions, because that plays a huge role, right? But then I had to sit back and I had to pull apart those accountability characteristics, place them on the table, because now I have to take one thing at a time, because I would rather do a small step, because every small step leads somewhere, right? So I had to take one of those things and now pull apart that very thing and see what I need to hold myself accountable to that very thing. Accountability um, can sometimes be a broad subject if it's not
Mm-hmm.
broken down in a space of a puzzle. That's
Right.
how I look at accountability. Accountability is like you're trying to put these pieces together, realizing that, oh, that's an edge piece. That's not a middle piece. And you know how
Okay.
you see what I'm saying? You got to do the edges first.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, taking that same analogy, look at my edges first. What accountability characteristics do I have there? And once I do that, then pull that one piece out, understanding it goes with this piece. Now I'm going somewhere. So this year, I hold myself accountable to my intentions and my moves.
Ooh.
Okay, let me tell y'all something real quick. Let me break it down. Well, you're probably going to say, well, what is that, Miss Harris? Well, intentions with your moves is every move you make. I'm in a space of not sparing everyone's feelings, but considering their feelings. I'm in the space of not sparing anyone's feelings and dismissing mine. Because if I spare yours, I'm dismissing mine, and now there's no effective and healthy communication going on here. Now I'm just faking it till I make it, and baby, ain't nothing on me fake all
That
day.
part.
Okay, so I'm my accountability is intentions that will allow me to make moves or pathways.
Mm.
So if I ever have to walk them again, I have the map to do so.
Beautiful.
So again, accountability is hard, but never put time on accountability. Only respect the process, because once you enjoy the process and the road, it allows you to enjoy the results at the top. You're not going to get to a mountain in 2 minutes.
Right.
Baby, I'm not running. And correct me, baby, I'm big back on purpose, okay? I'm going to lose oxygen. so, so my thing is, I always look at accountability as a mountain. As I'm moving up, it's okay to stop. It's okay
Mm.
to breathe. It's okay to take in. And sometimes you may find a survival tool to say, you know what, I can actually use this tool to create another way to get to the top of this mountain, right? And that's how I look at it. If you took the time to look at accountability as a mountain, you won't move so fast. But you got to hold yourself accountable first, before any relationship to be intentional.
Ooh. Go deeper.
Okay, I will. Furthermore, so a lot of my relationships, I have a lot of friends that became my family. I grew up poor. I grew up with nothing. I was homeless at 17 years old.
Wow.
So, first to get my high school diploma, first to get my bachelor's and my master's. I have 0 children and a full-time career, right? But we grew up with surviving, right? We all grew up
Yes.
with surviving. We know that life too well. But what do you do now in your present? I'm learning to conquer my present. My present is being conquered by my intentions, and my intentions are now creating my pathways to keep moving. And that's with every relationship I do. You're probably going to ask, oh, are you single? I am. Very much so. But I had to do some self reflection before I became the best woman I can be, right? So
Right.
when I look at my self intentions, I'm looking at the relationships I now hold, from friendships to family to dating, because you have to have intentions with dating as well.
Yeah.
And because dating, that's a whole nother topic. But so when I looked at my intentions, I said, you know what, Miss Harris, what kind of intentions can you make with the friends that you currently have in your
Mm.
space? Ooh, show up. Show up anyway. Check on them a little bit. Even if it's once a week. Hey, are you okay? Mental is okay. I just wanted to tell you I love you real quick. That's it. That's all. And that's where I'm at with that. When it comes to my relationships and my friendships, I'm like, show up. But show up the best way I know how, not where they want me to be. Show up the best way I know how, because when I show up the best way I know how, I can live in my authenticity, allowing me to be whoever I am, but also considering their feelings, not sparing them.
That's beautiful.
Because now I don't dismiss mine, and then I can actually have a conversation, and then we can be intentional with communication, effective communication in the space of transparency and vulnerability. That's where people need to live. If I need to talk to a friend, the question is, or do you have the mindset to hear me out? And where do you need me in this season of your life? That's where I'm at. That starts with my friendships. When it comes to dating, I am a wife. I's a wife, boss.
That
And
part.
a ring doesn't make me one. A man doesn't make me one either.
Oh.
Now my question is, how do I prepare myself to be a wife? What are my intentions with that? And I think if you're gonna practice something, you have to practice it in all you do. If you're gonna hold yourself accountable, bringing it back to the subject at hand, if you're gonna hold yourself accountable, you need to hold yourself accountable in all, from personal to professional.
That
Because it's
part.
practice makes better, not
Mm.
perfect. But in order for something to be, you have to practice it first.
That's ooh. So how can you help the people listening to start this process? What made you change your mindset to say, I'm going to be intentional and accountable?
Um, what comes to mind is, first sit down. And some people can't do it in their mental, but write all of those things down. Write them down. Almost like just write everything that's going on in your head. Just write it down in that space, or mentally write it down. However you need to put it down. Put it in the notes in your phone, or
Right.
type it out. Do whatever you need to do. Write it in an email, but write it down first. Write those things down and choose only one thing. Not two, not three.
Mm.
Choose one thing. Practice that one thing. Once you practice it and you've found your boundaries and your balance with it, then move on to the next. I'm all about slow steps still lead somewhere.
Mm. Girl.
Because if I'm running, I might bump into the wrong opportunities and miss the right results. Right? So my thing is, that's where I'm at. If you don't get nothing else out of what you need to do, write what you are dealing with now down. Just take one thing though. If you're like, you know what, I want to communicate better.
Mm-hmm.
In that communication, what does that mean? What in that communication you want to bring? And you have to be very specific. It's like having a conversation with God. And
Mm.
when you're sitting there having a conversation with God, you're not going to be like, oh, I want a husband. He'd be like, okay. Like, that's my God. I don't know about y'all, God, but he'd be like, okay. My love, okay. You have to then be very specific. No, I want to do this and with this because when you are creating a foundation in anything you do, you have to build it first. But then you have to know what type of bricks that you need to use because this ain't no bad wolf not about to blow my house down type of thing.
Right.
So the advice is to allow you to write it down first, choose one thing, and work on that one thing. What tools do you need for that one thing? So you can then creates your self-reflection. Because where self-reflection is very important. But you
That
can
part.
only self-reflect if you're not having battles of the mind. Because when you
Mm.
have battles of the mind, then it leads to a depression.
Ooh.
Some people can't stay in their quiet. They can't be in their quietness.
Mm.
But you know what I learned in life? In order to understand the fire, I had to walk through it. I'm going to get out anyway. But that's what accountability is. You write down what you're holding yourself accountable for. You then break down each piece, creating a self reflection moment. And as you self reflect, then you practice it. And as you practice it, you become it. In order for anything to be permanent, you got to make a habit out of it. Give it about 20 to 30 days, and it becomes you. When I decided to hold myself accountable to smile anyway in life, I had to practice it first. So now everyone's asking, like, well, how come you smile all the time? Baby, this was a choice a long time ago. And when I chose to do it, I practiced to do it, and now I do it without ease. But that's what accountability is. Accountability isn't something you just waking up and be like, I'm going to do it right here. No, it takes a lot of work. But
Right.
faith without works is dead, right?
Mm. Yes, girl.
like
Yes.
it, and that's where I'm at. Faith without works is dead. But look at your life. We take risks every day. From the moment we step out of this building to work, and we all know work is ghetto. Let's not even talk about that. It's giving adulthood the hoodest thing out there, okay? But um if you don't remember anything else, you have to put the work in order to understand the research you're doing.
Mm.
Put the work in first and use accountability as a building block. Okay, let me list these things what I'm holding myself accountable for this year. It can be one thing, three things, five things, however. But then take the first priority as an example of communication and break that down. Okay, how do I want to speak to people? How do I want what are my intentions when I'm creating relationships and communication? What does that look like for me? Again, I'm going to show up the best way I know how, not for how anybody else need me to be. That's where people need to be because we spend a lot of time putting time frames on things that need a lot of work on.
Ooh, baby. You ain't never lied. You ain't
Because
never lied.
again, This goes back to us. We know the survival mindset. We don't know the
Yes.
conqueror mindset.
Mm. Mm.
We just know how to survive in life. We didn't get no rule book, a rule book. We didn't get none of that. We was thrown in the fire and we didn't even know we was getting burned.
Girl, can I tell you something? I'm tired of being in survival mode. I'm fatigued. I'm tired of surviving
I'm
because
sorry.
I feel like sometimes in life you are literally just existing. You're not even living. You're just getting through the day.
Just getting through the day.
Just getting through the day. And until you really sit down, like you said, and have that moment of like, okay, let me write everything down. What can I address piece by piece by piece?
And what can you address piece by piece? See, us humans, we want things to happen. We want microwave results.
You ain't gonna lie, I do. I'm trying to get rid of this food of the day.
but the thing is, we can't if it's going to be effective,
Mm,
life is always going to be a test. But in order to pass the test, you got to study the test, right? You
that
got to
part.
study that's being placed on this test, so then one day it can be a testimony.
Girl.
I'm just saying. And we have to put our intentions or our accountabilities in a slow cooker. Give it some time. I'm not saying, oh, and don't forget, don't forget. Sometimes you gotta start over.
Girl.
People spend too much time living in fear of being who they are, because somebody told them they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, I'm 38 years old. I don't got time to be a project for the world.
That part.
Now I got random people working on me, teaching
Mm.
me how to value me. No, boo boo. I only know how to value me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in a space of be the confidence you want people to meet.
Ooh, hold
Listen.
on. Hold on. Get my pen. Ooh. Girl, that's a word. That is a word. Because there's so many people I've ran across that have like honestly low self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell them they're amazing all day. I could text them every meme I could find on the internet.
Right.
But if they don't feel that way, my words are null and void.
None. And I'm learning that now, even with family,
Mm.
because we assume that family got a hold on us and we can't do nothing about it. If people knew my story, they'd be like, well, damn, you still here? And is
And is.
because once I recognized my purpose, I took it for what it is and walked with it. See, our purpose is already in us.
Oh.
It's already here. We just have to learn to have or recognize discernment that's being given to us to recognize the purpose that we need to walk in.
That part.
You can be as great as you want, have all the money in the world.
Mm.
But if you don't value who you are as a human being, that money can burn.
Mm.
You can put that money in the fire and what would you be after? I want to know what I'm going to be when I have nothing. If
Ooh.
everything was taken away from me, what
Mm.
accountability can I hold myself into to know what I'm going to look like when I have nothing?
Right.
When I don't have all the glitz and glams and the phone and the Apple Watch and the shoes and that's what I want to be. And when you strip yourself away from, going back to accountability, when you strip yourself away from all of the friends that's hyping you up and the family that's telling you, oh, where you get your new shoes from, or, oh, okay, girl, your hair is on point. When you strip yourself away from that, how do you feel now?
Mm.
So, literally, in order for accountability to work, I have to sit down with myself. I was celibate for 6 years
Oh,
on,
girl.
on purpose.
Like syllabus, like nothing? I'm sorry.
Like nothing. Zero.
Like no rose, nothing?
No, I don't even own a toy. Never used one a day in my life.
You still celibate? I'm sorry.
I am not.
Okay.
But I don't have the ability or the heart to just go do it with anybody. So I've
Right.
been celibate on accident for 2 years. But hear me out. It taught me a lot in that space, and I know it takes a lot to deal with that. But when I told myself that I want to be a wife, I had to be intentional with what does that look like for me. I had to I said, I desire to walk in a room when my presence is felt without a conversation, without a word coming out of my mouth. I want my presence to be felt. And when I did that, he showed me, well, this is what you need to do in order to be introduced to the purpose that you already hold. Go be great. So,
First of all, I want to commend you for your strength
that's a lot.
because it's easy to succumb to some fool la la. We're going to say that. It's
Yeah,
very easy. And I was celibate for 2 years. And I was cranky as you know what. I was very
the
cranky.
whole 2 years.
After the first year, you kind of calm down, but that first year was rough.
Oh, it was. I'm not gonna hold you.
Like, don't everybody, when certain people starting to look good, I'm like, he cute. I'm like, wait a minute, it's a
Wait
mirage.
a minute.
This ain't real.
Hey, I already know.
Yeah, no, this ain't real. This ain't real. So I understand what you're saying, and those 2 years, I grew a sense of gratefulness. It's like
Mm.
it changed my mindset up instead of asking for
Hmm.
I want this and this because I've been married and divorced. Hallelujah. And
Oh,
that
really?
divorce,
Okay.
yeah, that divorce taught me a lot about myself, that I had a lot of people pleasing behaviors. I got married because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what my family thought I should
Oh,
do. This is the
interesting.
checklist item.
Mm.
I got married, bought a house, had a baby, was on Facebook smiling. Like everything was great and I was the most depressed.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
39.
Oh, you look good.
Thank you. You
I
too,
just turned
girl.
38.
I just turned 39.
When was your?
So
Wait, when was your?
August 9th.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, mine was December.
Oh, you a Sagittarius?
It big Sag.
Oh, girl, that's what I was talking about. Um, so those I don't look at getting married as a mistake. It was the most eye-opening life experience I could have because it made me realize the fairy tale I had in my mind that I allowed to get into my adulthood and think this man is going to come save me. Um, I need a man to be seen as a woman, to be a mother. I'm a woman. And
Ooh.
I realize now that none of that matters. When you get
How long?
married,
But how long were you divorced for?
I've been divorced for 5, I was married for 5.
Oh, damn. So, okay, here's my question though. Are
Mhm.
you just learning about holding yourself accountable now?
No. Praise God, I've been going to therapy. I was going to therapy before I filed for divorce. So going to therapy made me realize my own real vision that I had, not the implant that society, my family, stress, social norms put in my head, but what do you really want,
Mm.
right? Because I felt like me being a good wife made me a good woman. When I stood before God and all my family and said I do, I took that on very seriously. Like, I'm going to be this wife, I'm going to be this woman, I'm going to be this
Wow.
mother. And I put this stress on myself and I
Right.
put me on the back burner. I
Mm.
literally can say I died inside.
Mm.
So, with that reflection now, it's how can I be the woman of God that I want to be, but still fulfill the purpose that God put in me? It's
Mm.
like finding that balance of both where it's peace, love, and stability.
And you said a word right there, like finding the balance. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where people juggle with when it comes to trying to be something for the world and be something for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because when
Yeah.
you come into the house, you have to be within yourself. The world is
Girl.
not coming into this house with you,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that house may look like. I'm a strong believer. When I walk into my house, I need my house to be smelling good, right?
Yes.
I need the right candle on. I need to be not so cluttered, and my bed needs to be, again, this is me. My bed needs to be made because when I walk in here, I need to shut off the chaos. I need to feel
Mm.
at peace here.
Right.
But when you don't have peace at home and there's no peace out in the world, now you don't even know where to turn to.
Yeah. I literally felt like I was going to lose my mind. I was at a stoplight and cried for 15 minutes. I didn't even know people are honking at me to move.
Oh, wow.
That's
But
how bad it
but
got.
that's the thing. There's people out there sitting there like, well, then if there is chaos in my home and chaos in the world, well, Ms. Harris, where do I turn to?
That part. Mm-hmm.
Great question, because now you need to find a space, even if it is for 15 minutes, and cry your
Yeah.
tears out. Now,
Mm-hmm.
granted, probably wasn't the best location.
No, it was not. Should have pulled over.
It wasn't the best
Should have went to a
location,
parking lot, but
but
fine.
you got through it. Thank God you're still here.
Oh yeah, thank
Um,
God.
um, but find a cafe, or what's the one thing that makes you happy in the middle of a park, whatever the case may be. That one great cup of coffee. That one great cup of coffee, you be like, in this
Right.
moment, I find peace.
Mhm.
Even though everything is chaotic, learn how to sit in the storm and still see the rainbow forming. So
Definitely.
I'm going to sit crisscross applesauce. Now, if you can't sit crisscross applesauce, I understand.
Girl, if I'm down there, I live there. I can't get down there alone no more. Put me in
Listen,
a chair.
just, sit in a chair, great. Find the very thing that gives you peace, whether it's coloring or
Mhm.
a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, right? Or putting on your makeup or whatever the case may be. And I need the world to sit here and be like, just close your eyes for a moment. Because in this moment, I found the peace that I needed. Even if it's put yourself on a timer. But this is what
Mm.
quietness looks like, because when you give yourself 3 to 5 minutes, you can then listen to God, and God will tell you, like,
Mm.
uh-huh, yes. Now you're finding again, now you're finding the ways to sit in the middle of the fire. But baby, you're not getting burned though. You're just sitting there. Because when you stand up and you walk out, like, damn, God, I made it. But we too busy about the other moments. We don't find peace in the 2 minutes that we just got, because we're too busy focusing on all of the other chaos.
Yep.
But that's what I'm trying to teach my little sister. Like, you know, those moments when you go out and go get your ice at the store?
Oh yeah.
Find peace in that moment. And she was like, "You're right, sister, you're right. Because you need to show up the best way you know how, not anybody else."
That part. Yep. 100%. That honestly, um, I got divorced that day. Went to therapy, and I thought I'm healed. Thank you, Lord. We done.
Not you
No,
heal
ma'am.
it.
No, ma'am. He shut me down quickly.
Of course.
So the last 5 years have been a journey of true, like the genesis.
Mm.
Ooh, the
Ooh, so
genesis
hold
of
on.
why.
Because I just saw a video and it says this is your Genesis the year.
Mm,
Confirmation. But
hey,
because you didn't even
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
Listen.
Let me tell you, when I got down to the nucleus of my mess and why I reacted the way I did, because I know now, wisdom, that I can't control anybody but me. And
Mm,
I am, instead of taking things so personally, I have to just say, I am just collateral damage to whatever this person is going through. And
mm,
now I need to remove myself from this situation for my own personal peace, but I don't hold that against them. I just, for my own sake, need to separate myself from you. I could love you from a distance,
absolutely.
right? Um, and then it just made me have empathy for more people, like people I grew up with, my family members, whatever. Like, okay, they had their own issues too. Instead of me
Right.
holding this over their head for the rest of my life, let me forgive them, let that go, forgive myself. And that way I can have peace. And then I could be a better mother to my son.
And forgiveness doesn't mean you're going to have closure.
Right.
Forgiveness is just a space to know how to balance, goes back to balance, balance of understanding the actions they displayed and
Mm-hmm.
my actions according to theirs.
Girl.
You're never truly healed. You just know how to balance it now. There's no trauma bonding, there's a trauma recognition.
That part.
And once you recognize it, then you're like, okay, what accountability do I need to hold in this space? Because it takes
Mm-hmm.
two to tango.
Right.
So it's just, what are you going to do? I've never been married, but I was in a relationship for 5 years as well. I've been single for 8 years. And within those 5 years, I realized that I settled.
Ooh.
My communication was absolutely not, was none of void. I sat in the back burner, in the background at all times. It was
Wow.
almost like, whatever you want to do, I'll just let you
Mm.
drag me.
Mm.
Because that's what I was used to. I was used to being dragged with everybody because I allowed it.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Go to the forefront. Although you may be stage fright, but step on the stage anyway.
Right.
Because your smile is going to light up the world one day. You just don't see it.
Mm.
I'm about to be emotional. Sorry.
Girl, I'm about to cry with you.
So I can't believe my smile lights up a world that I had no control over years ago. But I had to hold myself accountable first. I had to realize, like, okay, what role do I play in this movie called life? And when I realized my role, oh, I'm the lead actress. People follow me.
Mm.
Whatever I do, they're gonna have to follow in a space of understanding.
Right.
So I became the lead actress. And when I became the lead actress, excuse my language, but fuck rejection. I don't give a damn if I got 20,000 no's, but that one no might be the CEO of a 500,000 company. So that's where I'm at.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. Woo.
Sorry.
Girl. No. I feel like a lot of people have so much that they have been through. So when I took myself out of that victim mentality of why did this happen to me and versus this happened, but I'm here. Or I survived this situation because I've been through some crap. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But
Mhm.
if I sat there and really sat down with all of the things that's happened to me and just said, why me, why me, why me, I'd be in the closet right now crying.
Yeah, you became
But
the garbage of your own reality.
hmm that part. And I realized that, and my grandmother told me this when I was little. I used to roll my eyes. She's like, everything that happens to you is for the glorification of the kingdom of God. Everything, good
Mhm.
or bad. And I'm like, whatever. I don't hear that crap.
Of course
But
not. You didn't have the mindset to even
I was too
understand the
young.
crap.
I have a lived child. So now I'm like, okay, everything I have been through, when I meet another woman or man who's gone through something similar, I could tell them how I overcame that, how I survived that, why I have so much peace now versus then. So everything I've been through, whether good or bad, has gotten me to this place where I truly have inner peace. And when the chaos
Absolutely.
starts, I can go to that place, like you said, for 5, 10, 15 minutes and say, okay, whew, let's go.
And
Versus
that's the
me
thing.
crying at 15 minutes at a stoplight.
Right. But people want to find peace when everything is good.
That part, yes.
But no, you have to find peace when everything is going bad
Mm-hmm.
because it becomes easier. If I found how to still feel like I'm the bomb.com, even when I'm feeling the worst, no matter what come my way, I'm still gonna be the best. I may not have everything I want these days,
Right.
but after self-reflecting and holding myself accountable and understanding that seasons change no matter what, I just need to fold the soil just a little bit, pull out those little weeds just a little bit, because my sunflower is going to grow anyway.
That part.
So when you find peace within the storm,
Mm.
whatever comes your way can't break you because they never made you in the first place.
Right. And I think this is where my relationship with God grew. That I'm like, if you're the same God that got me through all of that and I'm still here, I gotta trust you for the rest of
At
this
this
journey.
point, right. Because it's not about putting the toe in the water to check if it's cold. Let me just jump in here. Like, because
You
it's
not
not
me.
that
Let's
bad.
go.
Let's
Yeah,
just,
let's go.
let me wrap my hand. Let me take the wheel. Because it don't even look good. But no, seriously, like, I didn't grow up in church. The
Mm.
relationship, I barely stepped a foot into church. Baby, when I was 17 and I was homeless, somebody was like, pray to God. I said, pray to, they was like, you need to pray. I said, pray to who? Casper the ghost?
Oh.
I knew nothing about God. But
Mm.
baby, I didn't have nothing else to go with. I didn't know what to do. I chose school. School didn't choose me. I chose a relationship with God because that's the only thing I had holding together. I didn't
Yes.
know what else to do. So that's what I did. You have to choose. You have a choice in everything you do. If you choose to be better, you have to choose to do the research. There's a choice. God gives us a choice. He displays everything on the shelf and he gives us a choice.
Mm.
You still play a part in the role. God said, "Yeah, I'll handle it. I'm going to take care of you anyway." But what are you doing to use wisdom to know when you take this tool right now, you're going to be able to use it the next time you get in a pickle?
Girl, let me tell you, experience is my best teacher. And I thank God for every time I cry, that ugly cry when you in the shower,
Yeah,
holding on the
right.
side of the. I thank God for all those moments. And now the funny thing is, because dating is it's a whole other episode. But
Mm.
I can look at myself in the mirror and be like, girl, are we really tripping over this little tink tink right now? And
Little
I
ting
can just
ting.
laugh.
Cause you don't, I'm the treasure, baby. You have the mind
Girl.
for this. You don't just find this in K Jewels. You have to you have the mind for this.
I don't see my problem still is, and I'm gonna take accountability for this, is
Okay, come on, accountability.
I'm so comfortable being single. My fear is letting go of that singleness.
Oh, now that's a subject for itself.
I am honestly
Because
afraid. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's like being like right on the edge of a building. Like I want to jump off this. I know you down there. I just don't want to jump off this yet because it's so comfortable here. It's peaceful. Like you said, I could decorate how I want. I don't have to worry about how you feel.
mm,
Your issues now are my issues. I really don't want that responsibility.
I see where you're coming from because, like I said, I've been single for going on nine. It's been 8 years now, but going on nine. This is working on my ninth year being single, and it's scary because I want a family. I want, you know what I mean? I want the whole thing because I also had a fairy tale. When I was younger, I just knew we was gonna be the Cosby family. Like I just
Okay.
knew it. Like Family Matters was my thing. Like oh, this is a great family. College going on, lives happening. Like
Right.
we can still eat together. You know what I mean? Like until I realized like that TV show was just that.
Mm,
It wasn't reality.
it's not.
But
Let me tell you.
then, but then you can make it a reality, but you have to be the best version of you and meet people that their best version of themselves and understanding that seasons. But that's the hard part. Everybody's looking for a therapist.
Mm, let
And
me tell you.
I don't want no clients. No.
I have been the best project manager this side of the Mississippi. And I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm
I
tired of
told
being a project manager.
I,
I'll take that mold of clay. I can't do it no more. I'm done. Come prepared. I can't. I
I can't.
mentally cannot. I cannot do. Not at this age and stage in my life. And I think the most frustrating thing about dating is when I meet a gentleman who's older than me. Lord G, I'm about to test a man who's older than me, not by a year or two, like a decade, and you
Oh.
still ain't got it together.
No, it's so funny because I just had somebody tell me like, "Oh, Miss Harris, you just need an older man," but I
No,
don't think
ma'am,
age has anything to do with it
nothing.
anymore.
Mm-mm. I'm telling you, because they have met a woman in their life through their 30s and 40s who
Uh,
have literally been their project managers, who handled everything, and now that they're alone, they see us as younger women like, oh, they'll just do what they used to. No, 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 sir, I'm not.
that's crazy. So it
I'm
don't
being
even matter.
serious.
We just need to find people that's gonna hold themselves accountable to their own actions,
I
allowing us
need
to grow individually.
that part. I think for me, I never want to lose myself in another relationship
Mm.
because what I did was I became what that person needed from me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I That's exactly what I did. I was somebody he just needed as useful.
Yep.
I didn't even know my own value, so I couldn't train you to know my value.
That's girl. Listen, when I realized that I was like, oh crap, who am I?
Right.
I have been so many different people for these relationships. Who am I? What do I want? Like
Mm.
now I'm in the driver's seat. Where are we going?
Where are we going? But
Yep,
in that long, all of that time, I was in the back seat, like driving
girl.
Miss
I
Daisy.
was
I
in the
wasn't even
trunk.
a partner.
I wasn't even in the
Listen,
back seat. I was just like, wherever you want, I guess we'll go. No, I had
I'm
no,
getting
because
out.
girl, I feel like as women, sometimes we are trained to be accommodating. At least that's how I was raised.
Yeah,
Don't
I
bother
agree.
him too much. Be his
Don't
peace.
nag too much.
Accept all of
Don't
that.
be in your feelings. Just let it go. Let that man unfold however he needs to unfold because we'll be okay until I had to hold myself accountable to the things I wanted.
Yes. I think a real, and this is what somebody told me a long time ago, true love will bring you closer to God and closer to your family. And anything that separates you from those two things is not of God.
It's
And that
not.
is the truth.
And but
It is
that's
the
the
truth.
thing. The only reason why we're single because no one has gone to God.
That part, I'm
That's
waiting.
the only way. That's the only way you're gonna know that it exists. Baby, you better talk.
Now,
Oh, come
let's
on,
be
man's up
real, Miss
there.
Harris. Now, you done met that man, and God told me you was my wife. No, he didn't.
No,
No, he didn't.
girl, somebody told me.
No, he
Wait,
didn't.
why somebody told me that last year? Somebody told me that last year. And then all of a sudden he ghosted me. I said, wait. So we out here being spirits? Okay. Yeah.
Girl, I done heard that so many times. I don't know what God you serve, but the God
I
I serve didn't tell me you were nothing to
didn't tell
me.
me that at all.
I don't feel
He's supposed to give
nothing.
me the message too. I don't think the message was delivered to me.
No. And God put this in my spirit 3 years ago. Whatever I have for you, you can't run from, you can't hide from. It will find you and will not let you go.
Yes, ma'am.
So anything that separates from you, let it go. Walk out the door with them.
Yes,
Bye.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Don't fight it.
Because what's for you is always going to be for you.
So I'm not worried.
I don't have to explain. You don't have to try to explain why you're hurting me. Like you should never put me close to a fire because understand I will never burn.
Mm,
But I
that
should
part.
never allow you to put me there either. Because a person will only do what you allow them to do.
That part. That's another
So again,
accountability.
this go back to I'm gonna show up the best way I know how, teach you how what my value is, and be the confidence I want people to meet because the best way a relationship can unfold is be your most confident self in all your being. But to only
Mm,
understand a being is to recognize your being, and the only way to recognize your being is to do self reflection. And only to do self reflection, you have to hold yourself accountable to those actions.
oh, girl. Beautiful. We gonna wrap it up. But I think that when I feel myself like falling on those old patterns, that's what accountability does. It's like that feeling in the pit of your stomach. That discernment comes so much quicker.
So much quicker.
So much quicker
You're like,
now.
ooh, I should probably listen to this.
Right.
I think this is important to listen to.
Right. The
For
last
real.
time I didn't listen, some things
I
went
agree.
down. So it's me just taking accountability, listening to God, knowing his voice now, and knowing mine.
Yes.
Because sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what I should do. No, it's not. That's what you think you should do because you want to look a certain way. And I had to let my
Right.
ego sit down because she was taking over for a
And
minute.
pride. Pride plays a
Oh my
huge part.
goodness, pride. And I thought if I had this degree, this house, this car, these clothes, that made me. And it doesn't mean anything. If I lost my job tomorrow, got sick tomorrow, whatever, who's going to really be in my corner?
And that's what I look at in every relationship that I create. And I'm not just talking about romantic ship, I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
relationships as a whole. Who are they in my season?
Ooh.
Are they the ones that become the leaves or the
Mm.
mustard seed that that I are they the water that water my mustard seed that's already planted for me? Are they the roots?
Mm.
And those are the things you have to think about. I promise you, all of my friends, they hold me dear to their heart because I hold them dear to mine.
Right.
So again, this goes back to if you're going to hold yourself accountable, have some intention behind it, some real, true, genuine intentions, and write it down so you know how to build the structure you need to build for you. Not
Amen.
for your husband, for your wife, for your best friend, not for your children, not for anybody else, because I need to show up the best way I know how. But the only way to understand that is holding myself accountable to the actions I'm displaying.
That part. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. This has been awesome. Like,
This has been more than an honor. Like, this is um my second podcast I've been on. So I was very much honored when you asked me. I said, she want little old me.
girl,
Okay.
you bring so much love and light
Thank you.
in dark spaces. And I don't think you understand how influential you are when you go live. People wake up to hear you say,
Good
just say,
morning, morning, morning.
and it just starts our day off the way that we needed to.
Thank you.
You don't know what people go to sleep with, and they wake up and they see your beautiful face, and they're
Thank
like,
you.
thank God. So you keep doing you.
Thank you so
Continue
much.
being a beacon of light. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Happy New
Absolutely.
Year.
Happy New
Accountability.
Year. No, listen, thank you. Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure. You can have me all the time.
Really, anything you want to plug before we go? Your
Oh,
ads.
oh, 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 oh. Okay. Um, again, I never did this, so it's always so I'm always talking about advice. So I'm like, oh, advice. Um, Here's my one thing I want to say. In order to climb a mountain, you have to first move slowly, allowing yourself to understand what that mountain is giving you. It's okay to wait. It's okay to stop and breathe. It's okay to sit down and start over if you need to. But in order to actually get to the top of the mountain, you have to enjoy the process, even if it's slow and steady.
Woo. Thank you so much. Thank everyone for listening. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too,
Bye.
Mama. Bye.